A once celebrated quarterback's career plummeted after the draft, while another's bright future got lost in controversy. And it's hard to believe that a record-breaking college athlete could fall so hard in the pros. These are the biggest draft busts in NFL history. 1. Ryan Leaf. You can't have a conversation about the greatest draft bust in NFL history without mentioning Ryan Leaf's name, so it's time we mention Ryan Leaf's name. After the Chargers made Leaf the second overall pick in 1998, it all went downhill from there, and it went downhill fast. Basically, it was a disaster from start to finish. In 3 years with the Chargers, Leaf only started 18 games, and he missed an entire season due to injury in 1999. By the end of the 2000 season, the Chargers decided they didn't want him anymore, so they released him. The most embarrassing thing about the Leaf situation for the Chargers is that they actually traded up to get him. Going into the 1998 draft, the Chargers had the third overall pick. To move up to the second spot, the Chargers gave Arizona the third overall pick, a second-round pick, and a first-round pick in 1999. Oh, and the Chargers also gave the Cardinals 2 players. 2. Jamarcus Russell. Jamarcus Russell had the arm strength to sling the football from one end zone to another. He used this physical attribute to finish his 2006 season at LSU with 3,129 yards and 28 touchdowns. He received the Manning Award as the best quarterback the Sugar Bowl committee chose, became a first-team All-SEC selection. Analysts and scouts regarded him as a franchise-altering player when he declared for the 2007 NFL Draft. That's why the Oakland Raiders did not waste time getting him via the first overall selection. The late Raiders owner Al Davis ultimately selected Russell despite dissent from then head coach Lane Kiffin and former Raiders linebacker Matt Millen. As it turned out, the naysayers were right. Aside from holding out to get the contract he wanted, his poor work ethic was also the talk of the town. While he was a talented quarterback, he never completed at least 60% of his passes in each of his 3 NFL seasons. Worse yet, taken in consecutive picks after Russell were Hall of Famers Calvin Johnson and Joe Thomas. 3. Akili Smith. Smith was a true prodigy, an athlete unlike we had ever really seen at the time at the quarterback position. It just never clicked for him at the NFL level. Smith played just 4 seasons in the NFL. He started 17 games, winning just 3, with 5 touchdowns and 13 interceptions. In his career, he completed 46.6% of his passes. What makes Smith's career look even worse is the success of the remainder of the top 10 in the 1999 class. 2 of those players have been inducted into the Hall of Fame, while another 5 made the Pro Bowl at least once in their careers. Essentially, it was difficult to miss in the first round of the 1999 NFL Draft. The Bengals found one of the 2 busts in Smith. 4. Johnny Manziel. As perhaps the most electrifying player in the history of college football, Johnny Manziel's pro career was over before it even started. As the first freshman and 5th player in NCAA history to pass for 3,000 yards and rush for 1,000 in a single season, he became the first freshman ever to win college football's most prestigious award, the Heisman Trophy. The 2012 winner of the Heisman Memorial Trophy is Johnny Manziel. His play in college was so special that in 2014, he was drafted by the Browns with the 22nd pick to the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns' selection of Johnny Manziel inspired hope in Cleveland sports for the first time since LeBron had left for Miami. But this feeling quickly vanished when the Browns' biggest fear came true. Manziel finished his rookie season 0-2 as a starter with 175 passing yards, 2 interceptions, 0 touchdowns, and a 54.1 completion percentage in 5 games played. That wasn't the worst part. Reports of Manziel being seen at clubs drinking and partying came out all throughout his rookie year, and it showed on the field. Then, those reports were confirmed when he was checked into a rehab facility following the season. After year 2 went just as poorly on the field, it got even worse off with scandals like gambling in Vegas the night before a game. The Browns decided they had already seen enough, and Cleveland did the once unthinkable by releasing Manziel. In 14 total games, he threw 7 touchdowns and 7 interceptions while completing just 57% of his passes. The Browns won just 2 of the 8 games Manziel started. In a league that gives out second and third chances like clockwork, it speaks volumes that Manziel never signed another NFL contract. 5. Lawrence Phillips. Despite the fact that Phillips was accused of multiple crimes and suspended while at Nebraska, the Rams still decided to take a risk on him in the 1996 draft, and the decision ended up backfiring in a major way. Once he got to the NFL, Phillips was unable to stay out of trouble, and the Rams ended up releasing him before he even finished his second season with the team. The uglier part here for the Rams is that they were so confident in Phillips that they traded away their starting running back Jerome Bettis on the day of the 1996 draft. As for Phillips, he was sentenced to 31 years in prison back in 2008 for convictions that included domestic violence, spousal abuse, false imprisonment, and vehicle theft. The former NFL running back ended up taking his own life in January 2016. 6. Aaron Curry. The biggest defensive player bust would have to go to Aaron Curry. The Seattle Seahawks took him number 4 overall in 2009. Curry was a linebacker, but Seattle wanted to get him rushing the passer a good deal too, something that was somewhat new for Curry. Whether you look at him as a pass rusher or as a straight linebacker, the numbers aren't impressive for either. In his first year, he played in 14 games, had 2 sacks and 8 QB hits. In his second year, he played in all 16 games, recording 3.5 sacks and 8 QB hits, nothing outstanding. If you try to take a look at his tackling numbers, as he was a linebacker, he was notching 54 solo tackles in his first year and 60 solo tackles in his second. Let's compare this 4th overall pick to the 26th overall pick of the 1996 draft, Ray Lewis. Ray Lewis would get over 100 solo tackles a season in his early years. Even in his later years, he averaged around 80 tackles a year, and Aaron Curry was falling short of even that. His play suffered, he wasn't panning out, and Seattle eventually traded him to the Raiders. He didn't last long there either, was out of the league by 2012, only having been drafted a few years prior. 7. Trent Richardson. Richardson became the starting running back for the Alabama Crimson Tide after Mark Ingram II left for the NFL. He made the most of his opportunity by collecting at least 100 yards in 9 games before ending up with 1,740 yards and 20 touchdowns. Richardson also had 338 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns at Alabama. Those numbers earned him an All-American nod and SEC Offensive Player of the Year honors. He also won the 2011 Doak Walker Award as the nation's top running back. Before declaring for the 2012 NFL Draft, the Florida native was also a 2-time national champion and a 2-time first-team All-SEC. The Cleveland Browns thought that they were getting a franchise cornerstone when they selected him 3rd overall. After all, Richardson drew comparisons to Emmitt Smith and Earl Campbell. Unfortunately, his time in the NFL ended after 4 seasons. He did have a strong rookie season with 950 rushing yards and 11 touchdowns. But in September 2013, the Browns traded him to the Indianapolis Colts for a 2014 first-round selection. The change of scenario did not help Richardson blossom. He finished his NFL career with 2,032 rushing yards and 17 touchdowns. 8. Justin Blackmon. 9 years after Rodgers, the Jaguars selected a wide receiver similarly touted with a near-identical career path. Justin Blackmon was the next big thing. As the heir to Dez Bryant at Oklahoma State, Blackmon was dubbed the next Dez Bryant. He was a lock to achieve stardom at the NFL level, until he wasn't. Blackmon actually had a strong rookie season, catching 64 passes for 864 yards and 5 touchdowns. By all accounts, he was going to live up to the hype. Unfortunately, his career was derailed by things that had nothing to do with football. Before his rookie year even started, Blackmon was arrested for a DUI. After a clean rookie year, Blackmon's off-the-field issues resurfaced in 2013. First, he earned himself a 4-game suspension for violating the NFL's substance abuse policy. Then, he got hurt. Finally, a few weeks after returning during the team's bye week, he again violated the substance abuse policy. Ahead of the 2014 season, Blackmon had more run-ins with the law. In 2015, he was denied reinstatement by the NFL, effectively ending his career. 9. Heath Shuler. 29 years ago, Washington was in dire need of a starting quarterback, so the team decided to draft 2 of them. In 1994, they took Shuler with the 3rd overall pick. Then they followed that up by taking another quarterback, Gus Frerotte, in the 7th round. Although Shuler was the starter for 13 games over 2 seasons, he eventually lost the quarterback job to Frerotte. You're the 3rd overall pick and you lose your job to the 197th overall pick, that makes you a bust. Shuler was eventually traded to the Saints in 1997, and he lasted 1 season before he decided to quit football due to a foot injury.